Okay, so we are bringing you some Battlefield 5 gameplay. I have been playing this game since release, so since I want to say early to mid-November was when this game came out. It's pretty enjoyable so far. I'm going to be honest. Like a lot of the sniping you'll see is very satisfying. I think here I start out with a three times and switch over to a six times at some point. But yeah, this has been one of my first like trial stream sessions. This comes from me trying to work with my camera, from me trying to work with my microphone. You see a little turtle on top of it there. Um, all this stuff is new to me, trying to make it work, trying to figure out, the best settings for things, the best clarity for things, maximizing FPS while streaming, and how can do that. Also, I'm trying to get another monitor. I know how necessary sometimes two monitors can be. So, working on all that. Um, but I think so far this is a pretty good gameplay. I get into some really tight spots where I'm able to flank pretty well. It's one of the most satisfying things in these Battlefield games is flanking around the team when you have a full 32 man team and you flank around on the side and you get a nice little spot and you can string some kills together. I think it's a very, very satisfying part of the game. Still very much a part of Battlefield, which is good. Um, Overall, in this game, with the changes and adjustments they've made, really, for the most part, reinforce squad based gameplay, which I really like. So, for instance, now anyone can revive their squad mates. So if your squad is, intrinsically motivated to stick together because you want to make sure that, especially if you're worried about KD, you have someone come along and revive you, that's not technically a death on your KD. So if you're overly concerned with KD, it's even if you're one of those monstrous types of people, sticking with your squad, reviving them, calling out for help, getting someone to revive you, still, um, to your benefit, even in the most monstrous of players. This is Breakthrough. This is very similar to Grand Operations Operations from Battlefield 1, which is a game I enjoyed. Here again, playing objective even as a recon. I'm level 20 recon, which is the highest level you can achieve in recon. I have most of the guns at least level 5, which means, I can unlock all the specializations. I think the Schildstäder, which I think is the way you say that gun, is the only gun, the newer one of the newer ones, that I don't necessarily have. Thinking about it, so there's the lighter damage gun that's a little bit more accurate, and that's like the headshot gun. I've been using that. I think it's called it starts with a K. Obviously not the Car 98, which I've also played and is an interesting one. I think I'm currently using the Gewehr, which was the first gun that I had maxed. I was trying to figure out which gun I should use for streaming. I guess like thinking about which gun I'm most comfortable with. LOL, can't hop over basic stuff. A classic Battlefield player would blame the netcode there, but I think I was just bad at jumping at that point. Looking at this game, looking at this game this far removed from its release, there are still a lot of issues with the game. I think one of the biggest issues with the game, as far as a player of it, very casually, I think Recon is the only class I've maxed and stuff like that. So, um, some of the issues with the game include, oh my gosh, some of the issues with the game are very serious. So the fact that the game costs $60 and is still treated like one of these live service games. So we can, we being EA, we can just release the game in whatever state that we like because we know it's a live service and that's what people pay for. So eventually we'll fix some of the issues involved with the game, or it's just this wait and see type of attitude that it instills only, even in the player base, like people like trying to make excuses for EA and for DICE, like, oh, the game will be, ready and have all its features eventually. You just have to be patient. It's like, bro, I paid $60 for this game and it doesn't even have some of the basic features. I'm going to turn my phone off notifications because this is insane. But yes, so um, what else is there? I like this map. I think you can find some pretty solid spots, and I think a lot of the maps are interesting. I think some of the maps, particularly the one where there's the church at the center, I think that map is very, very formulaic, basic, really not unique feeling in any way. Um, but again, I think the game has its really strong benefits as well. I think the look of the game, the feel of the game, the sound of the game, especially the sound design, planes flying overhead, bombs going off, explosions, things like that. You even hear the particle effects with the smoke. Smoke is a very important a piece of equipment in this game that you can use. But it's something in this game. It just feels like maybe 3 months, 4 months from now, the game will be in its really good state, and it'll have netcode fixes and all these adjustments, and I just don't feel like playing through a mediocre game state in order to get there. So those are just some of the concerns I have. Thinking of other games to play, I actually just downloaded two of them, Doom and Wolfenstein 2. Doom I've been playing through is really, really fun. The music from that game is intense and gripping, and it's just nonsensical and doesn't take itself too seriously, which I really, really enjoy. Where I live right now, it is so bitterly cold. It's like with the wind chill, -10. I live on the East Coast, negative like 10, negative 12 degrees. So, perfect day to record a little commentary over some gameplay. I hope to stream more and more regularly. The fencing season, that's my job after my day job. I teach and also coach fencing, teach history and coach fencing. So, free time, especially even on weekends, can be really limited. Today is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, so we do not have school meeting today. So, figured I'd go through a little bit of gameplay I had recorded and talk a little bit about the game. But the other games I'm looking to play, Cuphead is a great game that I have yet to beat. I think I was at a boss for a while and I got frustrated, so I'll have to go back and look exactly where. I think I'm on aisle 3. I'm not too far from the end. Total War is another fun game, but streaming that game, I feel like my frames would just go out the window. I also have PlayStation games. Hooking up the PlayStation, I don't think is something too challenging. I have to look into the logistics of that, but I really don't think it's that difficult. I also have Ultimate for Smash, and I could record me playing that game online. I'm a big fan of that game. I think I've always been a fan of Smash since Melee in 2001, so I'm always going to be playing Smash to some degree. This one is by far the most enjoyable game in the Smash series since Melee, in my opinion. It's way better than Brawl and way better than 4. I played DK. Big fan of DK in that game. And there are other characters I'm a fan of too that I'm probably just forgetting right now. So, which else? Okay, cool. I play in a D&D campaign, so all these notifications going off, everyone trying to coordinate for later today. Make sure that everybody can participate. So my phone's going to be going off very obnoxiously. Anyway, enough distractions. I think I had actually a nice little shot in here somewhere. It might have just happened. A guy just turns the corner and a no-scope headshot with the Gewehr. I'm surprised at the effectiveness of snipers at close ranges, especially with no scoping. I feel like it's very easy in this game to hit people at close range. The problem is nothing aside from a headshot will kill right away, no matter how close or how far away you are, which is a good thing, I think. I think with how much damage um, and the time to kill in this game, damage all the guns do. I think if you had snipers being over the waist, above the waist being a kill like it is in, say, Modern Warfare 2, I think people would be very upset, and I think they'd probably be unbalanced. So it's a good thing, not a bad thing. So the other game I play a ton of that I would probably stream also is Hearthstone. Hearthstone is a game that I've been playing for a very long time. I don't know if I played in the beta, or I've at least played in the original state of the online game. There's a nice little spot here, but yeah, not enough gas there. Anyway, so Hearthstone. I'm a big fan of the game. I think it's deep, and I also have Magic the Gathering Arena, which is a great game as well. I'm a big fan of online card games in general, and card games overall, deck building games, building a deck, building things that annoy people, building things that are unique or unusual to win, finding unique ways to win. I think that's a great aspect of card games. There's so many stereotypes of card games. I think most of them come from the anime Yu-Gi-Oh, like to create the most powerful card, I'm going to take these two cards, both cards that on their own are very, very weak and meaningless, but somehow I, Yugi, can combine these two cards to create the most incredible card. And I feel like that show set card games back a long time in American culture. Anyway, Magic is great. Hearthstone is like a kind of a lighter version of it, a more casual centered version of Magic the Gathering. So I think I could play both. But let me know. League of Legends is a game I have no wish to play anymore. I think to be a streamer with that game, you have to either be really, really good, really knowledgeable. I'm good at the game. I wouldn't call myself really good at the game by no stretch. And the problem to be good in that game, you have to stay up on the meta. So meaning you have to stay updated on changes, because there are very regular patches and changes to each character. And you have to be aware of the item optimization for that character. So it just requires a lot of research and a lot of brain space. Like that's something I say a lot to people. I have such limited brain space for certain things, and being a history teacher, it's filled with so much historical significant information and other like random stuff that you wouldn't need to know for any other reason. Like the history of the Luddites and their fear of technology. It takes up a little bit of space. But anyway, I don't have enough room for the League of Legends optimal builds and like counters and knowing counter picks right away and knowing good scenarios to pick people. So I don't think I'm going to be playing that game. But I have plenty of, I think, story games when streaming too. Like I have tons of story games, but I don't know how appealing that is to people. Because if you come in, a third of the way or halfway through a game, you might not understand where I am, who the characters are, motivations, decisions I've made, like all these other things, and that can be frustrating. Or if I'm in a story mode of a game and there's a portion of it that's very difficult, if I keep dying and dying to the same thing that took you 3 seconds, like, do you really want to watch me do that? I think there's some benefit. Games like Cuphead, I think, people find different ways to beat different bosses, or people have advice. I think that can be fun streaming as well. So we'll have to see there. Lastly, let me look through some of the things and notes I have. Okay, I talked about that. All right, so back to streaming though, I would like to do it 2 to 3 times a week. So typically that would be probably once during the week and once during the weekend. The weekend one I hopefully would want to do for an extended period of time, somewhere between 4 to 6 hours. I think I could definitely do. I do already, without a camera on, so I think I switch over to assault here because I had either written in chat or told someone I would go assault to tank counter. Like, I play recon pretty much all the time. So if someone is like, hey, there's this tank on this objective and we really need to get rid of it, like I don't really care. Like I'll throw my anti-tank assault kit on and try to take it out. Because despite what people might think about level 20 recon players, we can play objective. We can switch to different classes and things. So good. This in general, breakthrough, as I think I had started talking about earlier, mirrors operations from Battlefield 1. Breakthrough, I think is the best mode because the battle lines are very clear. So Conquest, one of the reasons I don't play Conquest a ton, I still play Conquest, it's like classic Battlefield. I think Rush is coming soon. I'm excited for that. Anyway, Conquest, I think the spawns can get a little janky sometimes, and you can wind up dying unfairly due to someone spawning in an unfortunate angle on you right away. I think here I get in a nice little sniper spot, and what's funny is I think there is a ammo, like an ammo location designation to like, you can build an ammo crate right behind me, and it actually takes the spot away from me standing here again, and I think a teammate comes in and builds it. Anyway, again, like some of the most satisfying moments, at least for me in video games, is getting a flanking position on a huge group of enemies, and I think in Breakthrough you can do that, like I do here, somewhat. Smoke in the game, as I tried to say earlier, is important. Like this is an entire group of enemies, and without smoke, I think they could really get spawn killed, over and over and over and over and over and over again. So I think the balance of smoke to counter recon flanking positions is really strong, very, very good and useful. And I think, it's not overpowered in such a way that I thought I got a collat there. Looking back at it now, I don't think that I did. Anyway, in a game like this, getting a positive kill death ratio with recon in and of itself is a good thing. I think recon can be very difficult to maintain somewhat respectable kill to death ratio, and for someone like me, I think I'm not trying to get near the top of the scoreboard in terms of score or necessarily the best KD on a team. I think my first objective is to win, and I think the best way to help my team win is by getting into a position like this and either diverting their attention or my teammates have their attention and then I eliminate the enemies. I think is a very effective way to win a particular map. I don't believe, and now that I say it, it's actually kind of fun. I don't believe we actually win this game. I think we come very close to winning near the end and we run out of tickets. But I think Breakthrough is by far the most enjoyable mode to play. And obviously defending Breakthrough on Recon, swarms and swarms and swarms of enemies coming. And holding down, see now the ammo crate is built and I can't quite get back into the same spot. I think I realize soon that I can go up a little bit. Yeah, like just move a little bit forward. But I think having a good KD is emblematic of playing conservatively, not running in all the time, which I have a bad habit of doing if I'm not playing a class like Recon. If I'm playing a class like Support or if I'm playing a class like Assault, I'm just brain dead. I just run at the enemy team, and in this game you die so quickly. It's just not something I enjoy doing. If I need to take out a very important piece of machinery like a tank or anti-aircraft gun that's messing up our planes, that's another thing. I don't really do vehicles, I don't do tanks, I don't do planes in this game. I think I've flown plane like once or twice, but nothing more than that. The tanks also. I think one of the things I've done is like hopped in the front gunner position of a tank. I think you can get a lot of kills that way too. But no, not really into vehicles in this game at all. Um, I think I would probably need some type of thing to fly better. I think flying with a mouse right now is just like not fun. Not that it's not easy to do, it is somewhat easy to do. It's just not fun to me. I think turning and banking and stuff. There we go. Get a nice little long shot there. There it is. Pretty nice. The Alcoves. There's a reference for you. Do you know what movie that's from? The Alcoves. The Alcoves. Anyway, um, there are many alcoves. It's a movie that takes place in Europe. There's a hint there. Probably too much of a hint, to be honest. Oh, there's a grenade, and I think I survive. Good. Anyway, this particular game, the biggest issue with gaming, I guess you could say in general, it's funny that I mentioned Hearthstone earlier because they do this probably more egregiously than any other, is the state of microtransactions in the game. So in this game, the way you progress guns, the way you buy upgrades to guns that significantly improve how your gun shoots, its accuracy, its consistency, right? Which is like everything you need in a video game weapon. You need consistency, how it's going to behave all the time. You should know what to expect from it. And the way you can make guns more consistent is you increase these things called specializations. And each specialization costs a certain amount of CC, or these company coins, or this way of the game using points to try and slow down your progression to make sure that you can't push through certain parts of it. And it's just frustrating. You can easily see the CC company coins model being attached to microtransactions, or you can buy this amount of CC for this much. So huge problem in gaming, huge problem in this game, but a nice little clip. Hopefully some relatively thoughtful comments on video games and on my life in general. Leave a comment, a follow, twitch.tv/McNelkis. It's written right there, McNellkis. Probably not the easiest thing to spell or the best handle ever, but certainly is unique. And hopefully, if you go over to Twitch, it's becoming a Twitch partner is something I'm trying to do. So follows there, subscriptions here, anything like that. If you type it in Twitter or Instagram, I'm there as well, McNellkis. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.